Does that make sense?
I think for me, it's definitely every goalkeeper at every level, even the top 1% at the highest level, are going to have an awful mistake. It's the nature of the position. Ball through the legs, a bad decision to come. All of those things are going to happen. The really, really good ones, great ones, they don't happen as often and usually not on a big stage. Now, bringing it down some more, and how does that translate into us here and when you're recruiting, is I look for goalkeepers that can make all the basic saves, all the saves that they should make. The balls, are they handling the balls that are at them or just to the sides of them? Is their positioning good? Those things, very, very clean, good decisions. Do I hold it? Do I get it away? All of that. So very simple for me, and a consistency with that. Now the saves up to the top corner and tipping over the top, and that's talent. That's talent. But the most you're going to deal with are balls hit directly at you or very close to you.
Yeah.
And depending on how your team plays is another factor, and we'll get into that in a minute. But for me, the goalkeepers that I've worked with, Pat Onstead, he's now the GM with Houston Dynamo. Pat, very successful goalkeeper, played into his 40s. Just a real technician. Everything we did in training was, when we would work just with goalkeepers, was everything hit at and around us, the things I'm going to see most in the game that I'm going to have to deal with to be good at it, percentage wise. And also Donovan Ricketts, who I had, was also an older goalkeeper at the time. Same thing, a strong belief, working the things that are in and around you, the things that you're going to see all the time. They all have talent to pull off the big save. Stefan Fry, who I had when he was now at Seattle. Stefan was a rookie in MLS when I was at Toronto. It's very similar to the guys I mentioned, the veteran guys, in that he had that a mentality, a very calm mentality. Again, someone that was a real technician and took pride in making the saves that he should do. And then as a younger goalkeeper, being open to new things to get better. So very different when you work with them, obviously. And one kid to look at right now is the kid in Chicago, 17-year-old kid. Salinka, they call him Gaga. Aiden Brown's the goalkeeper coach there. He's done a great job. 17 years old, he's a starter, and saw his debut last year. And you know what the impressive thing is, and why he's doing what he's doing? It looked like he's played 100 games in the league already. Calm, good presence, just staying within himself. All of those things, and that's unusual. And at 17, wow, it usually takes a longer time to do that.
You have to get that. I always say you have to get that rage or that like anxiousness out before you get to a point where like, this is too tiresome. I'm just going to focus in on.
Because nerves
like that way.
Nerves are the biggest thing. Like I've had young goalkeepers. You're going to go into Seattle in front of 67,000 where it's nuts, or in a CONCACAF game, you're down at the Azteca, and the best thing you can do to get that out of there, those thoughts of negativity creeping in, is just your concentration and positioning. Always moving in relation to the ball. Thinking of, okay, even when we're in possession, how are we if it turns over here? Am I good? Are we good? If that keeps going and you plug into that, the negative things don't have a chance to come in. They really don't. And that's difficult. Which is why they usually get better with age.
They age, right? Like some of your best goalkeepers that, I could think of Pat Jennings and Donny Zureta. They were all fantastic. Jean-Marie Pfaff in Belgium. Like these guys were great when they hit their 30s. Like they became Gigi Buffon, right? Like they just became so much better when they hit their 30s. It was like, I'm just cool as a cucumber back here.
It makes a difference.
I will say, I really, I mean, if I could, I would sort of bow to you, because my biggest thing with goalkeepers nowadays is I think they're getting coached to play this, right? These big saves up high, or these big saves, and not so much arm's length. I had a coach who used to tell me, make all of your saves at arm's length, and you are a very good goalkeeper. So don't worry about the other stuff. It's just
great advice. Great advice. And I think you hit on something that's really key about how goalkeepers are trained. And for me, and like I said, Hoke was a big influence on me because everything they did was based on, well, what are the demands of the goalkeeper for the game? Too often they're by themselves jumping over barrels and doing this and that and these things which have nothing to do with the game. And then we have a poor kid who are going to say, okay, now we want you to help us build up and be good with your feet and be able to find the correct passes. We want you to be able to organize this back four, decide when to move out, decide when to come. Well, if you don't train it, how can you demand it from a kid or any goalkeeper, really, and any player, right? Well, they got to be seen as a player. And they really have to be seen as a player that's part of the team. And so 80%, I would say 80 to 85% of the work that in the professional level I do, and I've done it here, is with the team. And in situations.
Situational,
of what we're going to demand from them. And then, of course, just like with players who do technical work to get their skills, they need that as well, which is same as field players. But they need to see those pictures. They need to see those moments, and as many of them as they can get.